સૌ પ્રથમ ગુજરાતી જેને લોર્ડનું બિરુદ યુકેમાં મળ્યું છે, લોર્ડ ડોલર પોપટ. 1972માં ઈદી અમીન in 90 days all the Asians leave the country. ડોલરભાઈ કેવો માહોલ હતો?
બહુ અઘરું હતું. લગભગ 50,000 આપણા ગુજરાતીઓ યુગાન્ડા આવ્યા હતા. અને આ ડિક્ટેટર આવ્યો ઓગસ્ટ 72માં. There were 49,000 Indians who had to leave the country with 90 days. America took 5,000, Canada took 2,000, Australia took 2,000, but Britain took 28,000 of them. India under Mrs. Gandhi couldn't take any.
Do young Gujaratis or Indians want to get into politics?
So there is some interest now. We need more people to come forward. Like Rishi, who became the prime minister at a young age.
Yeah.
Listen, if they can do it, we can.
We can do it as well. What went wrong during these elections for the Conservatives?
There was element of corruption, fleas, poor leadership, and we didn't deserve any. I'm glad we've lost.
How was it when a Hindu origin prime minister is leading a country?
I'm a proud Hindu and that's how I was raised.
And there was this controversy which happened during the Diwali Party. Non-veg and alcohol was served, and then later the Prime Minister's office even apologized. Few places like Birmingham, there are clashes between Hindus and the... What is it? Why is there so much of unrest? ગુજરાતીઓ કે શું કરે મેક્સિમમ યુકેમાં?
One thing about Indians, hard work. સાયન્સ સિન્સિયર કલાક કામ કરે છે. કોઈ દોડીઓ કામવાળો ગોતતો ને ઇન્ડિયન હોય ને દોડીઓ હોય ને તો ઇન્ડિયન લેશે, દોડીઓ નહીં. 50 વર્ષ પહેલા ઇન્ડિયન ઇન્ટરવ્યુ માટે ના બોલાવતા.
What is the population of Indians in the UK?
1.9 million. Mainly students, care workers, doctors, nurses. અહીંના તમારા જે 800 માણસો છે ને તે એટલી મહેનત કરે. UK Indians love India. એટલે ગમે તમને પ્રોબ્લેમ થાય તો બધા ભેગા થઈ પૈસા વેસ્ટ કરી.
Your connection with your guru, that's Morari Bapu.
ના ખરેખર બાપુ તો બાપુ જ છે ને. UK બેસ્ટ વસ્તુ એ બી બાપુ આવી છે.
Can you just tell us something about the Gujaratis in the UK and how much their love for the culture?
Remember, the 60% Indians living in UK are born in UK. 90% India. The biggest challenge for British Indians is aging population.
Remarks about Prime Minister Modi.
We are well respected as Indians in UK because of Modi. We are roughly 3% in UK, but our GDP is about 7.8%. Nitin Gadkari is well admired there because Nitin Gadkari is making things happen that no other minister ever. And Jai Shankar is an amazing diplomat.
નમસ્કાર. શૂન્યમાંથી સર્જન કરનાર અનેક લોકો વિશે તમે વાંચ્યું હશે, સાંભળ્યું હશે, પણ આજે તમે એક એવી જ વ્યક્તિને મળીશો જેઓએ ગુજરાતીઓને, હિન્દુઓનું અને ભારતીયોને એક ગૌરવ અપાવ્યું છે, તે પણ વૈશ્વિક ફલક પર. મિત્રો વિચારો, તમે જે દેશમાં જન્મ લીધો છે, જે દેશમાં તમે મોટા થાવ છો, એ ત્યારે જ અચાનક કહી દેવામાં આવે કે દેશ છોડો. તો 17 વર્ષની ઉંમરે માત્ર $10 એમના પોકેટમાં અને એક બેગ સાથે તેઓ દેશ છોડી અને એક અન્ય દેશમાં જાય છે, ઇંગ્લેન્ડમાં. જી હા, ત્યાં ખૂબ જ સંઘર્ષ કરે છે. એક રેસ્ટોરન્ટમાં વેઇટર હોવું કે અન્ય અનેક સંઘર્ષની એની એક જીવનગાથા રહી છે. પરંતુ આ સંઘર્ષથી કેવી રીતે સફળ થવું તેનો એક પર્યાપ્ત છે. હું વાત કરી રહ્યો છું સૌ પ્રથમ ગુજરાતી જેને લોર્ડનું બિરુદ યુકેમાં મળ્યું છે, તે છે લોર્ડ ડોલરભાઈ પોપટ. તેઓ રાજકોટમાં છે. પૂજ્ય બાપુની રામ કથામાં તેઓ માટે આવ્યા છે. તેઓ મૂળ જામજોધપુરના છે, સૌરાષ્ટ્રના છે, અને આજે સાંજ સમાચાર સાથે આપણી સાથે જોડાયા છે. ડોલરભાઈ, ખૂબ ખૂબ સ્વાગત. સૌરાષ્ટ્રમાં આપનું સ્વાગત છે અને આપ અહીંયા આવ્યા તે બદલ ખૂબ ખૂબ આભાર. જય શ્રી રામ.
Jai Shankar, Jai Shankar, Jai Shankar.
હાઉ આર યુ?
Very well, thank you. Enjoying Bapu's Katha, enjoying Rajkot.
રાજકોટમાં. વેરી નાઇસ. યુ વેન્ટ ટુ યોર નેટિવ યસ્ટરડે. આપ આપના વતનમાં દર્શન માટે ગયા હતા. યુ આર ફ્રોમ જામજોધપુર. આપનો પરિવાર. સો એન્ડ યુ બીન ઇન રાજકોટ. ડુ યુ કમ ઓફન? તમે આવી શકો છો?
હું અહીંયા બાપુની કથા માથે વર્ષમાં 1-2 વાર આવું છું અને જામજોધપુર અમારા દેવ છે એટલે દેવના અમે વર્ષોથી આવું ત્યારે દર્શન કરી આવું.
વન્ડરફુલ. ડોલરભાઈ ઇઝ right now the member of parliament. અને જે મેં વાત કરી કે 1972માં 1972 ઈદી અમીન જ્યારે તેને જાહેરાત કરી કે 90 days all the Asians લીવ ધ કન્ટ્રી ઈસ્ટ આફ્રિકાના યુગાન્ડામાંથી, અને ત્યારે તેઓ તેના પરિવાર સાથે, ઘણા પરિવારો, હજારો પરિવારોએ ઇંગ્લેન્ડમાં આવ્યા. તે શરણાર્થીઓ થયા. ઘણા ઇન્ડિયા આવ્યા, પણ અમુક જે ઇંગ્લેન્ડ આવ્યા હતા. દલોરભાઈ, કેવો માહોલ હતો એ સમયની? જો વાત કરીએ આજના જે લોકો છે, યુવાન છે, એને જો એ વાત કરીએ, યુ વર ગ્રોઈંગ અપ, યુ વર જસ્ટ 17 and thousands of people along with you were just told leave the country at that time. What was it like?
બહુ અઘરું હતું, કારણ કે લગભગ 50,000 આપણા ગુજરાતીઓ ગુજરાતથી 1910માં ત્યાં યુગાન્ડા આવ્યા હતા, અને યુગાન્ડાની ઘણી એવી પ્રગતિ કરી હતી. અને આ ડિક્ટેટર આવ્યો, એને અમને 90 દિવસ આપ્યા to leave. Luckily, I left 18 months before. So I left in 71.
Okay.
August 72માં there were 49,000 Indians who had to leave the country with 90 days. America took 5,000, Canada took 2,000, Australia took 2,000, but Britain took 28,000 of them.
Okay.
It's a country that gave us a home. India under Mrs. Gandhi was in difficult circumstances at the time, couldn't take any because they had problems of Bangladeshi refugees coming to India and all that. And they felt this is a responsible British, not the Indians. So we all went to UK. And the UK gave us a very warm welcome.
Right.
એ લોકોને કેમ્પમાં હતા, they were career advisors, gave housing benefits, they gave all the facilities to help them to settle in UK, and they're all settled very, very well now.
Okay. But a youngster, coming from his own country at that time, Uganda, to coming to a new country, how difficult was the transition? And because you had nothing.
Yeah.
You had literally nothing except for the $10 that.
Yeah. We had nothing at all, extremely difficult. And it took a long time for people to settle down, especially you're coming to a country that's very cold, that's unknown to you. And of course, you have to make a success, you have to integrate, and you have to take any job available. The job that I could take was a waiter. And many others took the job, menu job, like a lot of Indians who come as students now in UK do take these menu jobs to survive.
Right. So you started being, say, a waiter in a restaurant, and then you started being into a health sector as well. What was your journey like?
Basically, I was a waiter, but it gave England one thing about UK, it gives you a push to move on in life. So I studied part-time for 6 years. I'm qualified as an accountant. And once you're qualified, of course, you get a job as an accountant. I specialized in corporate finance and then set up my own business in corporate finance.
Okay.
But in between, I had a shop. Most Indians in UK were shopkeepers. All African Indians who came to England were shopkeepers. There was an English joke. What is an Indian without a shop?
Okay.
The answer was doctor.
Right.
So either they were doctors or shopkeepers.
Okay.
So I went through that process of being a shopkeeper and then qualified as an accountant and then specialized in corporate finance.
Okay. And you became a chartered accountant?
Correct. Chartered management accountant.
Chartered management accountant. And later on. Okay. Right now, you tell us about yourself, about the businesses that you do, because you are a hotelier, you're into business, and he doesn't like to speak about the philanthropy that he does. But એક વાત કહી શકો કે રાજકારણમાં તો છે જ તેઓ, but his family એના એક સેવામાં પણ ખૂબ છે, તેની પણ આપણે વાત કરીશું. But right now, as a business in the UK, what are you doing? Like you're having.
I have been a member of parliament for 15 years.
Right.
I remember parliament and I was a business minister and transport minister. So because of conflict of interest, I couldn't be in business. I had to hand over all the business interest to my children who are running it. We look after people from 6 months to 99 years.
Right.
So we have 8 children's nursery, which my oldest son runs.
Okay.
And then we have 9 care homes, Rudashram. 2 of them are for Indians, Gujarati Mate Khas. And my other son runs into hotel business, the Hilton brand and the Holiday Inn brand.
Okay.
So they all 3 are settled in business, and I've been in politics for literally 45 years now. One of the first Indian to come forward into politics.
Oh, really?
MIE, a conservative party, my party that was a racist party.
Oh, okay.
It's like, a strong Congress supporter joining BJP. So it was a racist party I joined because by only being in the party, we can teach the English people what we are, who we are. We believe in hard work. education, enterprise, family, faith, philanthropy. This is our belief. This is the conservative values.
Absolutely.
And therefore, we are more conservative than the conservatives themselves.
Right.
And of course, then they realize that. And eventually, we managed to get British Indians into our parliament, both in the House of Lords and House of Commons.
Okay.
And until recently, we had a British Indian Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That was also one of the kind of historic things to have the first Hindu or the first British Indian Prime Minister from 2002 to 2024. That's right. But
To be selected by English
by creative.
and to be elected by English.
That's right.
That shows the English are not racist. Our democracy works perfectly well in that respect.
But back in the days, you said it was difficult. Therefore, 45 years.
Difficult to get a job even. They won't give you employment, because of the color of your skin.
Oh, okay. So what happened? Like, how did your kind of entry into the politics was? How was it back then? What inspired you to join public service and to get into politics, and especially into this party?
Yeah, it was very, very difficult. I remember there were events and I was only colored guy there, and I used to be sitting right to the back, and you see people sitting next to you won't even speak to you
Acha.
because of my color and because of the ignorance. As time went by, they realized who we are and what we are, and the values we share with the British people, how we complement the values, and they realized we are good people to be.
Right. So who was the one who brought you into politics? Any leader that you can name? Or
It was Margaret Thatcher, because the constituency was very marginal, and there were few Indians living in her constituency of Finchley and Golders Green. And she approached me. She says, "What can we do about the Indians?" I said, "There's only one thing you can do with us, is give us a smile." So we set up an Anglo-Asian Conservative under Sir J. Gorhill. And then I went to many Indian houses who had come from Kenya, mostly Kenya, Uganda.
Right.
Spoke to them what the Conservative Party stands for. Our values: hard work, education, enterprise, family, and all that.
Right.
And we organized an event in a school.
Hmm.
And Mrs. Thatcher came, and I asked these people to come. Most of them had no interest in politics.
Okay.
I had to give them the bus fare just to attend this event. Obviously, they took time, gradually over a period of time. You British Indians started taking interest in politics, but not as much as, say, for example, the Muslim community. My hats off to that community. You will see about 90-95% go and vote. We have a Muslim mayor in London, despite large Hindu population. But luckily, this election, we had 54% Indians voting compared to about 12% at one time. So that number has gone up. There's some realization, there's interest by young generation to come forward into politics and civic duty. They want to serve the country that's done so much for them. That country has given us so much.
Okay.
Not money, not education only, but a lot more. Money, they say, આપ્યું એટલે મોટી વસ્તુ આપી મને મારા બાપુ આપ્યા. એ બાપુના નખના દર્શન કરવા આ રાજકોટમાં એ અઘરા છે.
Right.
કુદરતી મને બાપુ મળ્યા છે.
Right.
એ દેશે આપ્યું, આ દેશે નહીં.
So Dolar Bhai is talking about સૌના પ્રિય મોરારી બાપુ, પૂજ્ય મોરારી બાપુ, અને મોરારી બાપુ એમના ગુરુ છે. અને એક વાત છે કે જ્યારે તેઓ બ્રિટિશની વાત કરે છે, એઝ અ બ્રિટિશ ઇન્ડિયનની વાત કરે છે, Dolar Bhai has come out with his autobiography which says A British Subject. And તે પુસ્તકનું વિમોચન પૂજ્ય મોરારી બાપુએ 2019માં તલગાજરામાં ગુરુ પૂર્ણિમાના દિવસે કર્યું હતું. અને તેમાં તેઓએ ખૂબ જ બધી તેની આખી સ્ટોરી વિશે, તેમના જર્ની વિશે, સંઘર્ષો વિશે વાત પણ કરી છે. Am I right?
Correct.
So, back, if you can just go back into your politics and now coming ahead. Margaret Thatcher ની વાત કરી, she's the former Prime Minister of England. And એમની સાથે that was this first conversation that you had, and then the entry into the politics that you said slowly, gradually came in. Now, in 2010, how does this work when you were honored with the title Lord?
Well, basically, I worked for Margaret Thatcher. I worked for John Major, two prime ministers at the time.
Okay.
And my main interest, I qualified as an accountant. My main interest was SME, small and medium-sized enterprise.
Right.
And we are small and medium-sized enterprise, predominantly most Indians living in the UK.
Right.
So that was my specialty, and I specialized in corporate finance in those businesses. And David Cameron saw that apart from being an activist, I was specialist in this area. She invited me to join the Lords and made me a minister for small businesses.
That was back in 2013
20th, yeah, 13, yeah.
when you got into the David Cameron ministry. That's right. So
Right.
you entered into the House of Lords. So when
I entered in 2010.
2010, yes,
You go through a couple of years of other small things,
right,
and then they made you make a minister.
and that's how it works. So just like when in India, when we have Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, the upper house and the lower house, that's the thing that they have in the Britain. That is the Houses of Lords, that is the upper house, and Houses of Commons, that is the lower house.
Correct.
That's right. So, જ્યારે એક લોર્ડની title બિરુદ આપવામાં આવે છે, ત્યારે the Prime Minister, on the advice of the Prime Minister, it's given by monarch.
Yeah, yeah. That's right. That's the recommends.
The Prime Minister નું ભલામણ થાય છે, recommendation થાય છે, અને એક
The Queen approved.
the Queen approves. That's how. And Dollarbai was the first Gujarati origin to get the title of Lord
In the Conservative Party.
in the Conservative Party. So David Cameron thought that because you are so much into the businesses, you were a business and a transport minister. Am I right? And that's how you had thought that you should be given
Well, basically,
entered into a House of Lords and given.
that's right. I told David, if you want to win elections, the Conservative Party, it must truly represent this country. There are about 3% Indians in UK. We want a proper representation in Parliament. And that's how David decided to give a safe seat to Priti Patel, brought me into House of Lords, and then I wanted to a Sikh guy with a turban sitting on the red benches, so he gave Suri a peerage as well in 2015. So 2-3 others came, both in the Commons and in the Lords. And the latest, in the last election, we only won one seat
Right.
from Labour, and that was Leicester East.
Let's see.
Shivani Raja, who I'd selected and got elected in Leicester East as a member of Parliament, second Gujarati girl on the green benches in the Conservative Party after Priti Patel.
But also while Jare Dollarbai, when he is talking about Shivani Raja, she has got her origins from a maternal side from Rajkot.
Correct.
And
And her husband, Rajkotનું છે.
એમના મધર પણ એમના મધર અને એમનું ફેમિલી પરિવાર ત્યાં રાજકોટનું છે. અને શિવાની રાજા જે અત્યારે હાલ ખૂબ જ યુવા વયે સાંસદ છે, she is a member of parliament at a very young age and was, because Dollarbai is into the central election committee, જ્યાં they from the Conservative Party, they properly select candidates. So he was the one who was instrumental into selecting her and getting her into the politics. Correct. How is it right now? Do young Gujaratis or Indians want to get into politics? How has it changed from all these years, 40 years back and now?
I think there is some changes, not enough. We need more people to come forward. We have a large number of Indians who are extremely clever, and very able people. We need more clever, educated, able, business-minded people in politics. We just don't want career politicians,
Right.
We want a mixture of both. That could make a big difference in the country. So there is some interest now. We have a large number of councillors, young generation British Indians born in UK who are councillors as well. But we need more of those. And I think in many ways, people like me who went into House of Lords, and people like Rishi who became the Prime Minister at a young age,
Yeah.
I've inspired them. Okay, listen, if they can do it, we can.
We can do it as well. And that is exactly the why, for the first time ever, I think, if I'm not wrong, that in the history, we had the largest number of Indians who got elected into the recent general elections of July 2024. Jare, across all parties, but the parties ni વાત કરીએ, the 29 Indian origin MPs got elected in the UK.
Yeah.
That's the highest number. But you think that the number can go higher?
Yes, the number can go higher because Indians are very able people, very clever people. You can see some of the large multinational companies are being chaired or chief executive of Indian, Google, Facebook, you name it. Our recent corporate finance director, Barclays, for example, was an Indian guy.
True.
He's a chief executive or non-executive director of Legal in General, one of the largest UK insurance quality company. So you can see the brains are there. And this is how we help them to develop, give them that opportunity and make it happen.
Right. And, but if I'm asking that, what went wrong during these elections for the Conservatives? Because it was one of the worst downfalls when we see as the numbers or the records.
and Labour got in. The Keir is now the Prime Minister.
Correct.
So with the UK and the general elections, because with the Conservative, like we just discussed, in the last 8 years, we got 5 Prime Ministers who changed, and the last one being Rishi Sunak. So what went wrong? What out of 650, the Conservatives got 121 seats. So what, according to you, went wrong?
I think our party was divided on the issue of Europe. The Remainers and Brexiteers, that's one reason. Secondly, we've never seen this before. There was element of corruption, sleaze, poor leadership. All these things didn't help, and we didn't deserve winning. In fact, we, the members of the Conservative Party, including myself, says I'm glad we've lost. Because it's time for us to be in opposition. It's their turn. Let them have it. We have no problem.
Right.
We will come back, refresh, reflect, and come back and make sure we win the election with the right policies. I think we messed up the party, we messed up the country, with Brexit and all that. So I think we didn't do a good job, and I'm first one to admit that that's what's happened.
Right.
And I think it's time for us to regroup ourselves, bring the right policies in, and come back. And we've done this in the past. It's not something new. This is a cycle.
Right.
That happens every 10, 15 years. And we were in power for 14 years.
14 years. Right.
People want to change.
Anti-incumbency, as they say. Because like 12 of your ministers lost, former Prime Minister Liz Truss lost. She lost from her seat. So it was a difficult time for the Conservatives, I guess.
A second reason I forgot to say is a Reform Party that's more right-wing to the Conservative Party. Because of them, we lost about 126. So we could have done very big damage to us in the people south.
That's a new party.
That's a new party.
Okay. And that also created some damage to you as far as the winning is concerned.
Yeah, it's like your BJP in Shiv Sena. You get me?
Oh,
it's similar.
Yeah, very simple. The right wing.
Right.
Okay. Dolabhai, how was it when a Hindu origin Prime Minister is leading a country where a lot of whites are there? And how would they kind of respond to it because you said that there was a time when there was racism, not now, probably, but you had a Rishi Sunak who is a Hindu, who is absolutely Hindu. We know that the Diwali celebrations used to take it a proper Hindu way. He's Indian origin. He used to take care of the country on a whole. But how was it when response comes from the politicians from across all parties?
Well, we had British Indian as a prime minister, but remember we also had we've got a Muslim mayor.
Right.
So that's democracy. Britain is not frightened of somebody finishing its foundation. We think we are very strong when it comes to democracy.
Okay.
So, आम्ही बीक નથી तो यावने.
Okay.
एक सारी वस्तु છે. તમે find સારું કામ કરતા and they'll support you.
Right. And they encourage you to.
So,
how was the tenure? How would you say the tenure of Rishi Sunak? Like from 2022, 2024, he had a lot of responsibilities on his head to reconcile what his predecessors would have done. So how do you think he did it, and how would you rate it?
I think Rishi came in politics at a very young age, and he wasn't that experienced. Rishi is very much a technocrat than a career politician. But what Rishi did good to the country, and people admire him today. He's more popular today more popular than the Prime Minister, by the way. He stabilized the country, which was going through some rough patches. So Rishi did a good job, both as a chancellor and as Prime Minister. But in many ways, to be a leader of a party and lead that party, which is very much divided, I remember in the cabinet, they were his worst enemies. All stood against him to become Prime Minister.
Right.
So I think Rishi, in a way, said enough is enough. I think I'll give up. I've done my best I could. And he left a very good mark when it comes to economy.
Right.
He got the inflation down, he got the interest rate low, we got full employment. All those important things that matter to rich people. He started getting our utility bills down, especially, gas and electricity,
Right.
So people were happy. But if reform didn't stand, then we could have not lost by a huge majority, by probably small numbers.
Oh, okay.
Remember, Keir-Starmer didn't get more votes than the previous Labour leader
Right.
who stood for the elections. So,
And right now, while we're sitting, I just read that before a few days there was this entire signature campaign which started for a rerun of the elections, and there was like 2 million signatures which happened across the country for a rerun. What is it? What is going on?
I think people voted Labour or Reform because they were not happy with the Conservative Party, what the party did after Cameron left. And people wanted change. It's not the party that want to be the ruling party of that country.
So people are not happy right now. Is that what you're saying?
Conservatives are all in the last 60 odd years, 40 years plus, Conservatives have been in power.
Okay.
So people prefer them. Once we come with a good new leader with a new policy and how we address them and how we execute those policies, people come back and vote for Conservatives.
Oh, all right. Okay. And
5 years could be 10 at the worst.
okay. All right. And there was this controversy which happened during the Diwali Party, wherein Diwali Party હતી ત્યારે non-veg and alcohol was served. અને આમની ડોલરભાઈની જે પાર્ટી છે કન્ઝર્વેટિવ પાર્ટી, એના જે આપણે વાત કરી MP Shivani Raja, she wrote, and then later the Prime Minister's office even apologized.
Correct, yeah. To give the background, the Diwali Party is something I suggest to David Cameron. So my wife used to organize every year.
Really?
Yeah, and we used to have this late Sunday decoration, late Sunday Popat, yeah. We used to have this decoration. Number 10 was decorated inside, and we used to have Diwali Party. She decided with Amit and others on the menu and who we might. And Keirstarmer obviously didn't have that information or not up to date with it. And I think the number 10 made a mistake not realizing. There's a very few Hindus in the Labour Party now. It's a large number of Muslims,
Okay.
So they are not aware of some Hindu custom and practice.
Okay.
So I think they went wrong, and I'm sure they'll correct it next time.
Okay. And you even apologized. That's right. Yeah. Right. But there's something that you mentioned right now is that your family, your wife, she was the one who instrumental in getting the Diwali parties into the 10 Downing Street.
But we spoke to number 10 and they said yes. And then suddenly, in fact, my wife did all the decorations set off in ordering the food and menu and all that with help of Amit, who until recently was PA to Rishi Sunak.
Okay.
Amit is that local councillor where I live. He's like somebody I've known for many years, like a son to me,
Okay. All right. So talking about this 10, it got a question to me. Why is it called a 10 Downing Street? Why would number 10 be? What is the historical thing behind it? For the Prime Minister, they say the 10 Downing Street. What is it?
Yeah, 10 Downing Street, Prime Minister's office and his residence. He lives there upstairs and his office is downstairs.
That's right.
Historically, it's number 10, yeah.
So that's number 10, right? Right now, there are also much of like that we've been reading here in the media that few places like Birmingham or something what happened in Leicester, that there are clashes between Hindus and the Muslims, or rather India and the Pakistan origins. What is it? Why is there so much of unrest that we saw during a cricket match as well when there was a match in, I think back in 2022, when in Leicester, the two communal rights tensions happened. And in few places they say that there's a dominance of Pakistan origin Muslims. How is it in the UK right now?
I think what happened wasn't good. In fact, my book says very subject. It means that, I am proud to be British and proud to be Hindu.
Right.
My nationality comes before my faith, even.
Right.
And if you come into UK, if you work hard, engage, integrate, to respect the value of that country, you can make a success, and many have made a success. If you bring your country of origin, whether it's India or Pakistan, it doesn't help you. It doesn't help integration. And you bring some stress, unnecessary stress, and even prejudice from white English speakers. What is this nonsense?
Right. So that was that. How is it right now? Is it all good, or there are a few tensions in few pockets of the country?
Yeah, I think it's cooled down, and frankly, it's being promoted by people who are new immigrants to UK from India or Pakistan. When I say new, the ones who come in the last 10, 15 years, because the loyalty is still to their country of origin and not the UK. And my book says, hold on, you are British first and foremost, everything else second. This is why you come into this country, to work, to live, to, build up your life and give great education to children.
I see. Okay. And just to right now, what is the population of Indians in the UK? 1.6 million around?
I think about 1.8, 1.9 million, because we've had 500,000 Indians in the last 10 years in UK. Mainly students, I would say, care workers, doctors, nurses, and these are on work permits.
Okay.
Or 2 or 3 year work permit, but normally it's extended. And if they live 5 years, they get British passport anywhere. But they'll come there to get a British passport because British passport carries a huge value right across the world. So I would say about 1.9 million.
Around 1.9 million, and a lot of people are still coming in.
Last census was 1.65 or something.
And what is the majority of Indians in the UK are connected with, just like you said, care workers, or probably having a store? And are they into businesses, trades? What is it, Gujarati or શું કરે maximum UK માં?
But Gujarati, one thing about Gujarati is, as I said, hard work, education, enterprise, family, faith, these are their values. You'll never say Gujarati, you're more likely self-employed than unemployed. Most of them are house owners as well. So, question is, what are they doing? They, like me, who started as a waiter, so somebody who's starting as a care worker will move on, qualify as a nurse, and maybe go and become a doctor even. She'll study part-time, might do MBA or something and become a manager of a big care home.
Right.
So we Indians are people of opportunity, going to move on. We will never stay at that level. We will continue wanting to, Somebody asked me a question, by the way, what would you have done?
Yeah.
If I'd come here, not to UK.
Right.
I'll tell you what I would have done. I will be probably a rickshaw driver with about 5 other rickshaws rented out. That's what I will be doing here.
Okay.
In UK, that gives you that opportunity. So there are one thing about Indians, hard work,
Okay.
અહીંયા તમારા જે 800 માણસો છે ને
હા
તે એટલી મહેનત કરે છે 60-70 કલાક કામ કરે છે. I really admire the light. આજે કોઈ દોડિયો કામવાળો ગોતતો ને ઇન્ડિયન હોય ને દોડિયો હોય ને તો ઇન્ડિયન લેશે દોડિયો નહીં લે. 50 વર્ષ પહેલા ઇન્ડિયન ઇન્ટરવ્યુ માટે ના બોલાવતા.
Things have changed.
આજે બેંકની પૈસા આપે ને લેન્ડિંગ કરે ને તો ઇન્ડિયનને ધંધામાં પૈસા આપશે કારણ કે મહેનત કરશે છોકરો કામ કરીને પૈસા લઈ આવશે વાઇફ આપશે હેલ્પ કરવા. હવે દોડિયામાં શું હોય કે બહારના માણસો એમ્પ્લોય કરવો કોસ્ટ થાય હસબન્ડ વાઇફના ડિવોર્સ થાય કંઈક પ્રોબ્લેમ થાય.
Right.
The English bank manager will trust the Indian more than the English guy.
I see.
It only watch it, we would change this.
You've changed the
Right own. I mean, I think the older we watch the Dorians have accepted us.
Right.
Can you imagine 15 million going there voting for Rishi Sunak as Prime Minister?
That's right.
So you got to give them a credit as well.
Absolutely. How is the economy right now? You're talking about.
Well, we have full employment to start with. Our inflation dropped below 2%.
Okay.
Our interest rate just dropped by 0.25%. Our growth is still number 1 in G7. Not enough, not like India has, obviously.
Right.
So economy is good. We'll probably get better. The only difficulty is that the tax have gone up under the Labour. That will not help a lot of businesses coming into UK. It will also not help small businesses because the cost of running business has gone up. So I think the future economically looks a little bleak.
Okay.
You see, I don't know of a country in the world who tax you to employ people.
Okay.
We have a tax called Employers' National Insurance Contribution.
Okay.
So if you employ somebody, you pay 12.8% NIC tax just to employ him. This is never anywhere in the world. So we are unfortunately, we are a highly taxed country. And the labor has gone worst. And we are highly regulated, but not as badly regulated as, say, India and many other countries.
Okay. And you were a business minister. And right now, also, you are a prime minister's trade envoy to Uganda, Congo, and Rwanda. You're the trade envoy for the prime minister. I was just reading that Uganda is also, the prime minister has opened up for trade businesses. Of course, things have changed in 5 decades, but they want more businesses from the England or the Indians to come in. How is it right now between the UK and the even African countries?
Uganda have realized by kicking out Indians how badly they suffered for many, many years.
Right.
They're welcoming Indians back to Uganda. They welcome a lot of Ugandans who settled in the UK to come back, but only less than 2% went back, like the Madhwani and the Mehta group, Nanjikal Das Mehta, Pujibai Madhwania, Rajkot Porbandar originals. Between Nanjikal Das Mehta and Madhwani group, they control about 12% of Uganda's GDP, even now, employing over 1 million people. So they're welcoming Indian investment. And they're welcoming Indians back to Uganda, and Uganda is prospering very well.
Okay.
And Indians are well settled,
Okay.
They're enjoying their stay in Uganda. They're enjoying doing business in Uganda.
Wonderful. That's right. Wonderful. Coming to the point that your connection with your guru, that's Morari Bapu. How was it? When did you meet him first?
Yeah, you can see a smile on my face.
I just
Yeah.
can એમનું નામ આવતા જ તમારા એક ચહેરા પર સ્મિત આવ્યું છે.
Yeah, ના ખરેખર બાપુ તો બાપુ જ છે ને, અને હું તો બહુ નસીબદાર છું. ભાગ્યશાળી છે. બાપુ મને મળ્યા ને કીધું તમને કે મને UK બેસ્ટ વસ્તુ આપી તો બાપુ આપ્યા છે.
કેવી રીતે મુલાકાત થઈ હતી?
હવે છે 1984 Muljibai Madhwani, Manubai Madhwani, Mayur Madhwani. Mayur is the husband of Mumtaz.
Yeah.
I am staying at Sarovar, that's Mayur's.
That's it. They're Madhwani group.
So they had a 1984 Mailokani Kathati. And I was a volunteer, and I know Madhwani families for many years. And then 1994, my son Bhavati, he's Madhwani kept as well, where I was in the committee. And Bapu ne Sambu, Saimbra Tiare, Bomanu Majairi, Jacket Tukna, Karakarato. બહુ knowledgeable માણસ છે અને એની વાણી બહુ ફાઇન છે તો મને સાંભળ્યું છે વધારે. આપણું હ્યુમર હોય, સંગીત હોય સાથે, અને રામાયણની સ્ટોરી હોય. અમે આફ્રિકામાં જન્મ થયો એટલે અમને રામાયણ ને કૃષ્ણ મહાભારત પર નોલેજ બહુ ઓછું, લિમિટેડ. કંઈ સબ્જેક્ટ ગુજરાતી અમે ભણાવતા ને સ્કૂલમાં, હજી મને ગુજરાતી લખતા કે વાંચતા નથી આવું.
બરાબર.
થોડું શીખો છું, બાકી અમે ભણ્યા જ નથી.
Right.
આફ્રિકામાં આફ્રિકનાઇઝેશન હતું ને, એટલે they were Swahili as plain language. એટલે એમ બાપુની મુલાકાત થઈ
ઇંગ્લેન્ડમાં.
ને પછી મેં 98માં બાપુએ કથામાં આવી આવ્યો તો યા કુંભની કથા હતી યા.
ઓકે.
તો બાપુને કીધું બાપુ મારું નામ અમેરિકન ડોલર યાદ રાખજો, ડોલર મારું નામ છે. અને બાપુને એ નામ યાદ આવ્યું 6 મહિના પછી. શ્રીલંકામાં કથા હતી, મેં કોકને વાત કરી તમે ડોલરભાઈને ઓળખો છો, લખી દે. ઇંગ્લેન્ડથી ભાઈ ઓળખતા હતા. અમારા બિઝનેસમાં ફોન કરી મારો નંબર લીધો ને બાપુએ મને, એટલે આવું આપ્યો કથાનો.
Wonderful. And that's where your even આત્મીયતા વધુ હતી.
Correct. And my children are into it very much. My son kept in Vatican, Roma, 4 years ago, just before pandemic. And my other son kept it in Athens, in Greece.
Okay.
And last year, Cambridgeમાં.
So આમના પરિવાર તરફથી અત્યાર સુધી બાપુની 4 કથા યોજાઈ છે. 4 કથા. અને ખાસ કરીને જ્યારે last year in the year 2023 on the Indian Independence Day, 15th of August, when the Prime Minister Rishi Sunak had attended Bapu's Katha, right? And he said, and I'm not here as a Prime Minister, but as a Hindu. And he also acknowledged everyone by saying Jai Shri Ram. So you brought the Prime Minister to Katha. Did he know about Bapu and the Katha and everything?
He knew about my involvement or my love for Bapu. He knew about Bapu, of course. He પોતે એક સનાતન છે, હિન્દુ છે ને સનાતન છે, એટલે he knew about Bapu. And out of respect for Bapu and for me, he said, I'll come. The only thing I didn't like about Rishi તે દિવસે, એ રસોડામાં રસોઈ કરતો હતો, એનો ટેસ્ટ ના ભાવ્યો મને.
That's how the thing is.
મને also he પીરસતો હતો, પછી કથામાં બાપુ આવ્યો.
That's really very humble, very down to earth. કે એક વડાપ્રધાન છે, he is cooking અને એ સેવામાં જોડાયા છે, અને તે જે ભાવિકો છે એને પીરસી પણ રહ્યા છે. Isn't it? Wonderful. બાપુની તો તમારી જે વાત કરીએ, since then અત્યાર સુધી છે, તમે રાજકોટ આવ્યા છો. રાજકોટમાં પૂજ્ય બાપુની 12 વર્ષ બાદ કથા યોજાઈ છે.
Sure.
અને એક વૃદ્ધાશ્રમ માટે છે, અને સદભાવના વૃદ્ધાશ્રમ, અને સાથે સાથે વૃક્ષો વાવવા માટે.
Sure.
Lord Dolar Popat, ડોલરભાઈ અને એમનું પરિવાર, his family is with lot of old age homes. અત્યારે વાત કરીએ તો you have around 540 elders with you, with your other old age homes that you have. Can you please tell us about it?
Well, I don't have any homes myself.
Your
Ron has- My son, Pawan, has it, 9 homes, and there are 60 bed each. 7 of them are for English people, and the 2 are for Indians, Karuna and a Kailash.
Okay.
Karuna Men and Kailash, both in Harrow.
Both in Harrow, yeah. So you have around 540
Patients, I read.
elders, patients, senior citizens with you. So you look, your son, I mean, that's what you said, your family, they look after them. And right now also you published a report. Can you tell us something about the findings of the report, wherein you say the loneliness of the senior citizen, or how is it right now about the senior citizens in the UK? What do they face? What are the challenges?
I think one of the major problems, the biggest challenge for British Indians is aging population. The number is going up very fast, very quick, especially over the age of 70. And there are many challenges. One of the major challenges is loneliness. It's so lonely.
Depression.
And loneliness creates depression, other illness. It's like smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That's how bad loneliness is. So I did some research into it. I took evidence from 100 different families, from Jewish organization, from Ismaili organization. What do they do to address this problem of loneliness? Loneliness also, the other problem, aging population is dementia, arthritis, and Alzheimer. All these diseases also, illness also comes with it. And we should never place our relation or family into a care home or rudashram. Because of technology and because of advancement in medical science, we are living longer. And there's a price to pay of this dementia and arthritis and all that. And it's not someone you can look after at home. Hospital doesn't want you, it's very expensive. And this is a halfway house.
Right.
As long as our Rudaksham Bandesh Rajkot, as long as they're properly assessed, they're properly placed, make sure the staff are trained for dementia, or somebody is suffering from cancer maybe.
Any particular illness.
Proper training proper assessment before they take those patients in.
Right.
And make sure there's a right facility available in terms of nurses and doctors on call and all that. And what worries me most, if you ask me, I'm very pleased they're doing a good job, but what worries me is there's no regulatory framework by the Indian government as yet, because this is a new concept here.
True.
And we need to regulate it properly, so they don't abuse people living there.
Right.
It can happen. It happens a lot in UK, but we are regulated, we are inspected every 6 months, So all that must take place, and we don't want to create an institution. We want to create a home, so it must be home from home.
A home away from home.
Home away from home. And actually, UK મતલબ કે એવી રીતના છે કે if you don't place your relation with these difficulties in home, તો તમે એના ઉપર અન્યાય કરો છો. કે તમે ઘરેનું ધ્યાન રાખી ના શકો. એના સ્પેશિયલ મેટ્રેસ હોય, બેડ્સ હોય, કેર હોય, ક્વોલિફિકેશન વાળા નર્સિસ હોય, એ કંઈ છે નહીં.
Right.
And she's living in a community. He or she is living in a community who have same problems, same issues.
Right.
And there are a lot of અમારો હોમ છે સવારના મંદિર છે એમાં સવારના 8 વાગે આરતી થાય, 11 વાગે હવન થાય, 1 વાગે લંચ હોય, 4 વાગે ભજન હોય. There's a lot of activities for them to engage with each other. There's a company, there's no more loneliness.
And stay away from the negative thoughts.
Exactly.
That's wonderful.
It's a good concept, and we should support it, we should encourage it. It's like a Thai picture. This is why I have come,
right,
as well, to listen to Bapu.
And even Dolar Bhai, I remember that him and one of the other Gujarati origin industrialist, જ્યારે ગુજરાતમાં back in 2017 જ્યારે floods આવ્યા હતા અને ઉત્તર ગુજરાતમાં જ્યારે floods આવ્યા હતા ત્યારે એમનું એક ટ્રસ્ટ છે, તેઓએ त्या સમયના જે મુખ્યમંત્રી હતા વિજયભાઈ રૂપાણી, એને £500,000 એક ચીફ મિનિસ્ટર્સ રિલીફ ફંડમાં ડોનેશન આપ્યું હતું. Right? So you are connected with philanthropy, you are connected with your roots, you're connected with your native Saurashtra, Gujarat, and back also the people in the UK, the Gujaratis, they would like to get connected. Can you just tell us something about the Gujaratis in the UK and how much their love for the culture and for the native is?
Sure. Firstly, giving for good cause. બાપુ કે આપણે લેવા લેવા નથી આવ્યા. અને ખરેખર જે દે છે એ જ ભગવાન દે છે. in terms of India માં જો earthquake થાય કે ગમે તે ઇન્ડિયામાં કંઈ થાય ને, there's so much love for Indians from UK. UK Indians love India. એટલે ગમે તમને પ્રોબ્લેમ થાય તો બધા ભેગા થઈ પૈસા વેસ્ટ કરી અને આ સારા કામ માટે હંમેશા આપશે. પહેલા ટાઈમે તો જરા મંદિર માટે બહુ આપતા, હવે લોકો લેતા નથી. એટલે આવા કંઈ ઇન્સિડન્ટ્સ બને તો એ લોકો સતત હેલ્પ કરશે. But there's also now a different thought by new generation. Remember, the 60% Indians living in UK are born in UK.
Right.
More than 60%. અને એ લોકોના વિચાર જરાક ચેન્જ થયા છે હવે. ઘણા તો ઇન્ડિયા 90% ઇન્ડિયા જ જોયું.
The ones who are born in the UK.
UK, yeah.
There is 60% લોકો છે.
60% are UK born. અમારી ફેમિલીમાં 5 જણા છે, આમાં 3 છોકરાઓનો જન્મ યુકેમાં.
Okay.
I see. એટલે
Right.
આજે ઇન્ડિયન્સ 55-60 years થયા છે. Mainly originally from East Africa and Mauritius.
Yeah.
હવે નવું જનરેશનનો વિચાર એવો છે કે we are earning money in UK and anything, we would rather give money to UK charities than send abroad.
Okay.
એવો હમણાં લેટલી એવા બધા વિચાર છે. પણ એવું નથી કે ઇન્ડિયામાં દેતા નથી, અહીં દેશે, પણ વધારે હવે ચેરિટી યુકેમાં કરે છે.
Okay. How are they talking about that generation? જે યુકેમાં બોર્ન થયું છે અને કદાચ ઇન્ડિયાનું જોયું. How are they connected to the culture of India? એ લોકો ત્યાંના આપણો ફેસ્ટિવિટીઝ હોય, આપણું રિલિજિયસ બધી રિચ્યુઅલ્સ હોય, એ પાડે છે, એ they are connected with it?
Yes, very much so. મા બાપે એવું શિક્ષણ આપ્યું છે, એવું વેલ્યુઝ આપી છે. બીજું આજે સાધુ સંતો ત્યાં આવતા હોય એને સાંભળતા હોય બાપુ તો ખાસ.
કારણ કે તમે હમણાં જ વાત કરી કે કેમ્બ્રિજ યુનિવર્સિટીમાં you had an audience of 4,000
people. Yeah.
That's big.
4,000 બાપુની કથા માટે બહુ ઓછો કર્યો, પણ કેમ્બ્રિજ is fine for everybody to come. પણ તમે લંડનમાં રહી કે તમને 15,000 મળે.
Right.
See? જેમાં રાજકોટમાં ગઈકાલ અંદર 35-40,000 માણસો.
વધારે, yeah.
એક ટાઈમે રાજકોટમાં 2 લાખ માણસ આવતું. Because of ટીવીમાં માણસો વધારે જોતા હોય છે. So, yeah, in fact, એ લોકો કરે છે. આજે ઋષિએ પોતે ની ઘરની બહાર દિવાળીનો દીવો રંગોળીને
પ્રગટાવે.
તો વિચાર કોઈ બ્રિટિશ પ્રાઇમ મિનિસ્ટરને કોઈ થયું, હવે કરીને બતાવ્યું તો આ લોકોને એમ સોચના થઈ ગયા, આમાં આપણે કરવું જોઈએ.
We should do it.
કારણ કે લગભગ આની 60% જે જન્મ ત્યાં થયો એમાં એના 60ના 50% એ ઋષિના એજના છે બધા.
Right.
Age group of 30 to 50.
50.
That rules ashram, basically, India will have a amazing number of young people, but in 25 years' time it will be opposite. Yeah, what's happening in China now?
Right.
There will be an increase of 280% of people over the age of 80.
Now China and Japan is encouraging people to have more children.
This will happen to India in 30 years' time.
Why would you say so?
Because a recent United Nations report has just come out. They talk about India as a whole, they talk about Gujarat. So there will be an increase of 280% over the age of 80 in 25 years' time.
Okay.
There will be more children, there will be more elderly in 25 years than their children under 15. That's what the report said.
That's what the United Nations report says.
I'll give you a copy if you want to. No problem.
Sure, please. Thank you. Remarks about Prime Minister Modi. What do you have to say?
Modi is an amazing guy. There's no doubt about that. He's got vision. He's a visionary guy. I want to put on record as well, whilst I'm being interviewed in this TV, that when Modi had a problem with US and UK when he was Chief Minister of Gujarat, I was the first person, went with our High Commissioner, James Devon, to see the Prime Minister, to see the Chief Minister of Gujarat, to engage with him. Then we had a second meeting. The system works diplomatically. Is you have engagement and then endorsement.
Right.
See? So our second meeting, I was there and I was stopped to see Modi, not talk about it, not engage with him.
Right.
Because I was made a minister at the time. So later, Hugo Swag, as a Foreign Office Minister, came for the engagement and endorsement. I did the engagement, Sagayam and Ladan, engagement and endorsement. That's how it works in diplomacy.
Okay.
So I take credit for having established that initial relation between Modi and UK.
Yeah.
And then, of course, then Modi became, because the British Prime Minister, David Cameron, thought that it'll be somebody else, not Modi, as Prime Minister. So we got wrong information, British High Commission, Delhi maybe. I forgot her name. There was a lady. She was a potential Prime Minister material, somebody else a potential Prime Minister material, but not Modi. And things changed because I and David Cameron came to India. That's the plane I convinced this is the guy to meet.
That is back in 2013, 14?
Yeah.
That's right?
The great, yeah, 13, yeah.
No, great.
So anyway, Modi, you see, Akka dunia ma Indian, the minute the word Indian comes, poor kind of people, very much. People with poverty, people are begging money. 400 million people living under $1 a day, more than what happens in Africa. That was a perception of white Europeans of India
Earlier.
Today, Modi has changed that. We are well respected as Indians in UK because of Modi.
Wonderful.
Everywhere in America, same thing. As came Trump, he's bringing some extra taxes for goods from China and other countries, Mexico and other countries, but not India. He's saying, I love Indians. And Indians make amazing contribution. We are roughly 3% in UK.
Right.
But our GDP is about 7.8%. Okay. In United Kingdom. So we make amazing contribution both in England and America. So because of Modi, Modi's internationalized India.
Right.
And really put to and made it a very big global player.
Yeah.
It's a player that you can't mess around. It's got huge number of highly qualified people.
Right.
Middle-aged people, and they are very commercial-minded, business-minded. They want to see the development. So all the positives I'll say, but the negatives is this. India still has a long way to go, in terms of very poor infrastructure. I know it's happening fast.
It's happening.
Yeah, but we want to speed up even further.
Right.
That's where this guy is is it Gangani or something named? The Minister of Transport?
Sorry?
Who's the Minister of Transport?
Gadkari.
Nitin
Gadkari.
Nitin Gadkari is well admired there because Nitin Gadkari is making things happen that no other ministers ever.
Right.
And Jai Shankar is an amazing diplomat.
Right. That's great. It was wonderful talking with you, Dollar Rai. We covered a lot of topics, subjects, and glad that you came.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was wonderful talking with you, Dollar Rai. Thank you so much for coming.